Hello, this is the first video of hopefully many, and this is going to be featuring artifacts from the German U-boat U534. Now, the German U-boat U534 was basically raised from the depths of the ocean, and in it they found many artifacts, some of which I'm lucky enough to have and continue to obtain from various sources. When I get them, some of them are quite badly, rusted, which is understandable for the period of time, and some of them are absolutely, if not mint condition sometimes, which is most odd. And I'll show you some of them from my collection as the videos progress through the series. Again, this is just an educational video. I don't share the symbolism or the ideology that Nazi Germany did encompass at that time. This is purely for historical purposes only. First of all, let's start off. I've got two flare cases. Now, these are from a flare gun. These would have been shot up into the air to signal help or assistance, or to identify where the U-boat maybe was for other U-boats nearby. But this is two flare cases that were found in U534. This one is in a bit of a bent shape, as you can see. It's pretty solid, but there's something inside this, so let's go and have a look and see what it is. There's a fantastic picture there, look at that. Let's see if we can get that to now. That looks like a primer cap, possibly. If I give it a shake, something definitely loose in there. Yep, that could be a primer cap end. So that needs cleaned. There is some markings on it here. There might be a band that's on that there. I'm not very sure. It just could be the markings, sort of white marking around that. Could be paint. I don't know. What I'm going to be doing is, depending on what type of artifact I manage to obtain and how we're going to try and restore it. I'm not looking at showpiece restoral. I'm looking at trying to remove the rust, basically, and see if there's markings underneath. This one, similar, has nothing underneath there. I think that is gone, the primer's gone. As you can see, that type of rust in there, and it's got right down, which is why that bit down here is corroded away. So the option here is to then restore one of them, which I'm going to restore the worst one. I'm going to restore this one here. And that just means taking the rust off it, getting it to the correct shape and getting this internal part out, and getting that, and then be able to present that as part of the display for it as well. So we're going to use a method. There's lots of methods to use for removing rust. The easiest that I've seen and the most results is electrolysis, I believe they call it. I've done it for a small relic from the U534, which was like maybe a small cosmetic tub, or so it had a glass front on it which was broken already. So I cleaned it up and it looks great. I'll show you that in one of my next video series coming up. But this itself, I'll see how well this will clean up. It might clean up to be steel. It's pretty hard anyway. I'm interested to see this yellow band and see if that comes out more in the rust. It just could be something that's been stuck around it, could be tape. You get that sometimes when I don't know where this has been after it was, who had all this before me. But yeah, it's solid, absolutely solid. So I'm delighted at that. See the cap end as well. Some ridges on them, you can see. Yep, there's enough ridges on that one there as well. Yeah, you can see them more contrasting against the white kitchen roll there. But anyway, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to set up the electrolysis tank. It's just a small tub. Give you an idea of how that operates. And within 3 to 4 hours, hopefully we should see some pretty good results. You can leave it longer than that, but once it starts chemical reacting and it stops, and then you have to clean the plates and then do it again. As with everything, internal rust is a pain in the bum, but thankfully this is one set unit and I want to get that other piece out as well. So I'm going to gently heat the external sides here, and then I'm going to try and expand this out, and where I'm going to give it a go, and I'll keep you tuned. So stay tuned. This is going to be the first video on U534 restoration of some of the artifacts. And again, maybe not everybody's cup of tea, so just leave it the way it is. It'd be nice to see what it looks like, because I've already got one, and that's what I'm going to go with as well. In this series as well, I'm going to be showing you one of the actual spanners that was found in U534 as well in the engine room. And I'm going to restore that, because I have another one as well which was found alongside it, which I'm going to keep original, so people and you guys can see the comparison when it's finished. Stay tuned, hope you enjoy this series of videos regarding U-boat artifact restoration, and who knows, if they had never pulled this up from the depths of the ocean, this had all just been rusting away, never to have been seen anyway. So it's good to have a bit of history in our hands as well. So stay tuned. Thanks. Here we are over at the workshop, and I've just gently heated this with some gas, and I've managed to get the angulation on it right, and putting the vice a wee bit there, and I've tapped it with the hammer. I've left it enough to cool down a wee bit. It's still quite hot, but as you can see, it looks a lot better. Isn't exactly perfect, but I don't want it to be perfect, because I'm never going to get perfect. I've managed to retain the band at the bottom there somewhat. I'm not sure what that is, as I spoke about. And something quite interesting to show you. What I thought was metal in the bottom of the actual shell or the case is not. It is some sort of cork or wood. Now, had I not opened it up first and tried to remove it, I could very well have destroyed that. So it looks like some sort of cork or wood or wadding. My money is on cork. I don't know how well that would. Anybody want to give me an idea of? I've seen some stuff for wadding and shotgun shells, but that could very well be what they used at the time as well. There we go. So that's interesting. So that'll be left the way it is just now, and the shell is now a lot better looking, you'll agree, than the flat representation it was before. And you can see right down into that. So that's us. We're going to go back over, and we're going to do some of the electrolysis, if that's what they call it, as well, and we'll get that started up, and we'll see how well this turns out. Well, that's in the bath now. I've got the electrolyte sodium carbonate mixed up with the water, 12 volt supply with my two metal sheets either side, and then I'm going to connect up the earth to the copper sort of brake line hose I've used here, and we should start to see it coming off, the bubbles. There we go, that's it started. So I'll let that run for a wee while, and then see how well it clears up in the next good few hours. So I've had the case in this DIY rust removal electrolysis system for about 3 hours, and that is the result. Look at that, wow. It is totally taking every aspect of rust off. That is phenomenal. And what I did was I just gave it a wire brushing under a hot soapy water after. Inside, still a bit in there, so it could probably do with another wee spell in it. But to give you an idea, this is what it was like before. Totally encased, same as that, and that's what it's like now. So it gives you a comparison of what it does. Electrolysis is amazing, very good. And again, interesting, really interesting to see the artifact cleaned up. That could probably do another bit, and then we'll buff it up and get it polished And remarkable the amount of metal that's still intact on that. I mean, I've seen artifacts before and they're just pitted beyond belief and corroded, but for that to have survived the way it is, it's amazing. And that's it stretched out compared to what that was. Try and show you there. Great. So that does a good job of cleaning things up really nicely. So we'll put it back in for another half hour, an hour, and see if it'll take the rest of that sort of blackness off it. But thanks for watching, and I'll show you the sort of finished article once it's all polished up. Well, that's it finished. I did get around and give it a light sanding as well, and in the previous clip you can see the black bits at the bottom were actually hiding the rust holes. So it's actually we pitting in there, which is fine. It's still very secure and structurally intact, which is good. So also the bottom caps come up quite nice. Another wee thing I've noticed about this is that only half of this the circumference of the base is got a sort of canal on it. It's got a sort of saw edge. Though that's not sharp, it's like a grip, and the other half hasn't. So I thought that was unusual, but maybe it's to do with pulling it out, the casing of the gun. The other one I think has the same. Yes, it does. Has the same. But there's the comparison of them both there to show the rust that's been removed from them both. You can see there as well on that one that the actual rusting is occurred at the same place on that one as well, at the base. Probably because they may have been sitting upright, or that's where the moisture's gathered the most. But there we go. So that gives us a wee insight into cleaning up some sort of the relics from U534. Hope you enjoyed that. Again, it's just an amateur thing to do, but it shows you the remarkable difference you can make between removing the rust off of something. No markings on it at all. Didn't expect to see any. I thought there might have been something on the base, but if it's just a generic flare, then probably not. Anyway, stay tuned for more. Thanks.